Well, looks like gaming journalists are still seething at Concord flopping and Black Myth Wukong succeeding. That takes us to Shannon L., who's apparently affiliated with Inverse, New York Times, Washington Post, and CNN. Over on Inverse, she posted an article titled "The Unholy Truth Behind Black Myth Wukong's Massive Sales and False Hype," making a tweet with that article that says, "New," wrote about how Chinese nationalists and gamergaters likely got together to push out massive sales of an ultimately mediocre game, Black Myth Wukong. I also dived into the IGN report from last year and verified the translations myself. Yeah, this totally ain't some crazy conspiracy talk. Yeah, a bunch of gamergaters and Chinese nationalists all got together conspiring to buy this game. What? She goes on to say, while researching this story, I noticed that the Wikipedia entry for Black Myth has been edited multiple times, and the controversy section featuring IGN's reporting has been deleted by anonymous, likely Chinese users, saying it was unrelated to the game's content. And then adding this. All the replies just continue proving the point of the story, to be honest. Check out this exchange. Daniel Ahmed says, I don't agree with this premise, TBH. The nationalist/gamergator crowd are very much a minority that did nothing to move the needle. It's like saying Hogwarts Legacy sold well because of transphobia. And then Shannon's all like, that's okay. You don't have to agree. It's an opinion piece. Yeah, okay, sure. But one that she titled The Unholy Truth, as if it's like objective fact or something. But even that aside, that title just sounds so lame. So I've got an archive of the article pulled up here, and let's go right to the part where she's all mad at gamers for buying Black Myth Wukong. The reality is that IGN's report likely did not dissuade Chinese gamers from supporting Black Myth very much, as it described an internet culture many are familiar and comfortable with. In fact, the controversy may have boosted sales by raising awareness of the game. Here's a reality check for the journalist. People in general don't really care what IGN or gaming journalists have to say unless they're laughing at what they have to say. Also, I don't think IGN's article affected the sales in any way in China, positive or negative. I just don't think it was a factor at all. But here in the West, I think it probably did backfire in that, yeah, it probably did raise awareness and got some more people to give attention to Wukong and possibly even buy it. But let's not take anything away from the game itself. I'm sure it still would have been a top seller, even without that being the case. Continuing with her ranty article, she says, once upon a time, coming forward with cultural complaints about a piece of media might have facilitated healthy discussions and smarter consumption a few years ago. But in today's climate, it's more likely to trigger angry factions online and fuel sales of an otherwise ordinary product. It's possible a similar phenomenon occurred with PlayStation's Stellar Blade, where, excuse me, these journalists are still mad about Stellar Blade too, oh my gosh. Where a series of articles about the misogyny and objectification contained in the game ultimately worked to drive engagement. Well, yeah, the complaints about Stellar Blade were a bunch of nothing burgers. And these journalists act like they're surprised that no one cares what they got to complain about. Like, I wonder why no one cares. And then she has this section about Black Myth Wukong in China, where she continues to lament the game's success. Ending with this paragraph that reads, all of these elements combined are a recipe for instant success, but without the rabid fan base of Chinese nationalists and gamergaters at the ready, I'm not sure anybody would be talking about Black Myth Wukong in 2024. We've been fed to the gills with great games that challenge our expectations, make us fall in love with the characters, and obsessively draw fan art and write odes to the narrative. A retelling of a 432-year-old tale with pretty trees and Ragnarok-style combat doesn't entirely hit the spot. Jeez, what a strange article. These journalists are so freaking weird. Allow me to raise a point that I mentioned in a prior video a few days ago. It seems like gaming journalists are extra angry lately, like coping extra hard lately, because they've realized, more than ever, that they're powerless, like no one cares about their weird agendas. They don't have the power to be the authoritarians that they want to be. Like, these people would clearly love to tell gamers like, oh, you should buy this game, and oh, you shouldn't support that game, and blah, blah, blah. But to the majority of gamers out there, these journalists just come off like they're terminally online and politically obsessed, like they got brain rot. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. Let me know what you think about this article in the comments and all this journalist and gaming stuff lately. And if you enjoyed my coverage, consider liking and or subscribing. Appreciate ya, and I'll see you in the next one.